Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss what is the methodology uh, in completing the project to be followed. Since the students of BGS, like both electrical and mechanical electronics students are doing the projects which are hardware programming related in the field of automation. So I would like to give a brief introduction to the methodology to be followed. So this is the what methodology to be followed here. This is what. So if you take up any project, first of all we have to identify the problem. What is the problem we are addressing, especially. So what we are discussing is domain is automation domain. So problem identification means, for example, there is a manual practice, manual work is going on, and it is having some disadvantages. For example, it is consuming more labor, and it is heavy job, and it is very inefficient by doing manually. So what we can think of is we can give like a solution by using automation. Automation is going to benefit us, like it reduces the human labor, it reduces the strain on the labor, and it reduces the it can do the heavy job also automatically. So these are the advantages of automation. Like that is a problem identification. So problem identification, I also briefly discussed this explanation. This is useful for your preparation in the test CIE1 internals. See, problem identification involves identifying a problem or challenge that can be addressed through automation using hardware programming. Okay, this steps is more generic way is there. The steps are generic way, but I given some explanation which are completely related to hardware programming automation projects. Okay, so once problem is identified, it may be a industry problem, it may be a domestic problem, it may be a machine problem, or it can be a complete production plant problem, any kind of problem. Okay, so I'm just elaborating that problem identification. So once you identify the problem, the next step would be literature review. So what do you mean by literature review is, see, there are already researchers done on many areas and many problems. Okay, research and projects extensively done in different parts of India and throughout the world. Okay, so what they have done and what new you are doing it, or you want to try something new. So you have to know what is the existing solution to the particular problem. Solutions are there, but you are not satisfied with that solution. You want more improvement for that problem solution. So in that case, you just review the literature and the possibility of what others have done already. So you're going to do a literature. So the main aim of this is like you don't have to repeat the same work again. Okay, so that is what the literature review. Literature review is possible by visiting the research source, that is journals, then sciencedirect.com. Examples I'm telling, sciencedirect.com, and good international journals are there where very good research paper you can get it. Google, sometimes Google Scholar is good, but don't search it in the Google. There some information may not be trusted. Okay, so if it is trusted website, it's a very reputed website, then you can rely on that data. Otherwise, everything in Google is not true sometimes, so you have to be very careful in searching in Google. So once you are done the literature review, for example, referring 4 or 5 research papers, so you got some idea like what others have done, and using that, using that literature review concept, now you are generating the concept. What is your concept? What is new in your project? That is what the concept generation. So you come up with a new solution. Okay, so new solution is there in your mind, so that is called the concept generation. But that new solution, that is an imaginary solution, it's still not yet proved. That is an imaginary solution, can be practically done in different ways. For example, I tell you, so there is a automatic parts feeder system. Okay, that automatic parts feeder system, this is just an example, can be thought of using pneumatic cylinder, can be thought of using hydraulic cylinder, can be thought of using electrical motor and the gear mechanism or the linear transmission mechanism. That means your idea, that is your new solution, can be done in different ways. That is called the concepts generation, concept generation. Okay, so you have created the concept generation, one idea can be done, that idea can be executed in different ways. That is called the concept generations. Different concepts are generated, and then by thoroughly evaluating each concept, for example, if automatic parts feeder system, if it is done by pneumatics, okay, what are the benefits? For example, cost is less. If it is same thing is done by hydraulics, cost is high. Okay, so there is, every method will have advantages and disadvantages. So by thoroughly understanding technically and commercially, you are going to select a optimum concept, that is called the concept selection. Okay, so once concept is selected, that means say for example automatic feeder system is done by pneumatic cylinder, using pneumatic cylinder, that is fixed. Okay, so in that also there is a lot of configuration design. That means cylinder could be double acting cylinder or single acting cylinder. Okay, valve could be single solenoid or double solenoid. That is the configuration design. And in terms of electronic circuits, what I can say, we can go for minor changes in the resistor, minor changes in the capacitor, circuits you are going to change to optimize it. That is called the configuration design. So once configuration design is freezed, then we can go for detailed design of each and every part, maybe using the drafting software, using the 3D software. You are going to design the each element. That means you are giving some dimensions, shapes. Okay, so once design is completed, once dimensions are freezed, then we can go for actually manufacturing, fabrication. The manufacturing is fabrication. Okay, so you are giving finally the shape and size to the real part, so it finally is going to fabricate. Once fabrication is done, then we can go for assembly. Actually that is missing. So in fabrication you should also assume that there is assembly. So once hardware is ready, so we have to develop a code or logic in the controller. That is the development of code or logic. Once code is developed or logic is developed, we have to test that with the hardware which we fabricated. So once testing is done, testing is okay as per the function required, then we can go for project report documentation. That is also a very important part. That is the documentation. Okay, these are the steps involved in methodology to complete a project. Literature review, it is clearly explained here. Go through this, it's a self-explanatory. Concept selection is there, configuration design, detailed design is there using a 3D software or 2D software. We can go for a detailed flow chart also possible, and fabrication and development of code, testing and report documentation. So this is about methodology to be followed in completing the project, especially hardware programmable automation projects. Okay, thank you everyone. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.